Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing the cost of resilience as well as the unfair advantages of being raised off survival. So stay tuned. I am focusing on today reads, resilience comes with a price. Anyone can master self-discipline, but experience complete disarray when it comes to human interaction. So what does this mean? Basically what I'm trying to say is we can resiliently accomplish all our goals but still have internal mess as well as emotional issues that are a result of trauma and toxicity. Often those who are raised off survival want to do better than the environments that they came from. And usually in the midst of wanting to do better, we think of it more from a materialistic standpoint. For instance, if you grew up in poverty, your goal is to attain all the money in the world. Oftentimes, a lot of us, myself included, we look at where our parents failed materialistically as well as monetarily, and we kind of lose focus of the psychological aspects and trauma that we experience from lack. Resilient people, I often call them lotus flowers, or people that excel in whatever environment they're placed in. Usually we're looking at the materialistic items that they achieve, either whether you get a degree or you get a good job. But oftentimes people that are raised off survival are internally suffering and kind of sometimes can never reach a level of success or happiness, in other words. Well, my family had a lot of financial issues, and living in lack was one of my greatest fears, and it was the root of many anxieties. So my goal was to finish school and get a steady job with a good income. But in the midst of that, I was neglecting my psychological issues that were a result of trauma and kind of abandonment and fear. On the outside, I can appear very accomplished, but I was still an emotional wreck. And as a result of those issues, I would make poor decisions. Like, yeah, you have the job, you have the degree, but you're still making awful decisions in regards to relationships. Instead of worrying about financial issues, you have other aspects that you have to worry about due to your poor decisions. I feel this quote also focuses on value. Sometimes we place higher value, or we respect people more when they've accomplished certain things in life, not knowing what is a driving force behind those goals, because negativity can actually enforce your goals, especially if you were raised off survival or in a toxic environment. For some people, the force behind their accomplishments is that they may not want to be like their parents, or they could be extremely narcissistic, and that's the reason why they keep obtaining different degrees, cerebral narcissism. Or they're extremely materialistic and want to live a certain lifestyle. They may not even be happy. So I suggest we don't place value off what people accomplish and where they are. We just value people for being people. Some people could be workaholics because they're extremely depressed in life and want to be distracted. Another good example of this is Lynn from Girlfriends, if you ever watch that show. But Lynn keeps acquiring multiple degrees, and the reason for her acquiring those degrees, it's not to aid in any type of career or anything. She just wants to avoid adulting, and she just wants to mooch with her friends. So many people desire a degree and may envy someone like that, but you don't know the reason behind the goal. Like I reiterated in the beginning, so many of us who are raised on survival don't want to be our parents monetarily or materialistically, and that's where we neglect our psychological health. And I didn't realize I had all of these issues until later in life. I had issues with anxiety, being extremely controlling, being a little bit obnoxious as well. So these were issues that I didn't even think I had. I just thought I was killing it because I was raised off survival, and basically surpassed my parents in a certain way. The issues that I had, I was falling right back into that negative cycle in which I came from. Yes, I accomplished more things, but I was still going back to square one. And going back to value, sometimes you could see people that are extremely resilient, very successful in what they do, and you may take their accomplishments and intertwine it with their character, which is extremely dangerous. Like, you can be extremely successful and still be an awful person. That's another negative aspect of being raised off survival. Maybe if your father wasn't a good provider, you may find a man that can provide, but is also very emotionally abusive. And that's, again, the result of placing emphasis on the material things or things that you lack instead of focusing on the psychological element. So a message for those who were raised off survival, or the resilience, as I say in air quotes, yes, strive to do better than the environment that you came from, but also prioritize your mental health and your psychological well-being, because yes, you can accomplish things monetarily and materialistically, but your mindset could take you right back to that negative environment because you never addressed it or never looked deeper into it. That's all I have for you tonight. I hope that this resonated with you guys. If it did, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, goodbye.